sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back. You can open up, or you can call us here. We'll open up the phone line.
We got them opened up.
737-7767. If we can figure out
as long as we can figure out how to answer this new phone, we'll be all right.
We need a phone that goes, "Hey, stupid."
Answer this. That's right. Hit this button here. It needs to light up for us sometime.
Hey, we got a new contestant on this Price is Right over here. We have Jake Swindle. He's the fourth cousin of Gerald Swindle, twice removed. And I promise you, son, if you beat us, we're fishing. Brandon and I remember these faces. If you beat us, it's going to be a baptism like you did. All right, Jake, tell us all about it, buddy. You've been fishing this too, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
This year will be my 7th year.
7?
7 years.
You're up there with me. Oh, man.
It's only 13. 12. What?
13.
13.
You ain't that little tyke that came in the first year and had all that big bag, was it?
No, sir.
Oh, you better not be.
He's probably already beat you 2 or 3 times. You just don't know it.
He's been there 7 times. He's beat me 7 times.
It's probable. You never know.
You never know. I ain't always nothing but a donation for me anyway.
That's right.
But, all right, Jake, what is it going to take to get these kids involved?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you're not the only one. There's a bunch of kids that fish.
Yeah.
This tournament.
It's not just about winning or losing. It's more about making memories.
That's exactly
right.
Now, who's going to be your fishing partner?
My dad.
There's the ringer. I knew it was going to come out sooner or later.
Yeah.
There's the ringer.
Yeah.
I got a long tow rope. So, what's going to be the tactic now, Jake? We need to know.
I guess throw the tackle box until you find out what works.
No, come on now. Throw the tackle box. That's
He's been trained well. He's been trained well, hasn't
That's something Bill Dance would say. Come on, tell me. We're going to use a whopper plopper?
I don't know.
What? Buzzbait?
Probably.
With a frog?
Probably.
A Jacob Wheeler special?
I don't know.
Spook? You gonna walk the dog?
Probably.
I'm gonna walk the dog.
Yeah.
What about a popper?
I might try that too.
You gonna try a popper?
Yeah.
You gonna do the Kermit the Frog popper, or you gonna do a regular popper?
Probably a regular popper.
See, I'm learning. Check your notes here.
You just gotta keep. Hey, I got it.
We gonna throw anything above a 7.5 inch worm?
Probably not.
We're gonna throw a jig?
Probably.
Half ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8.
Half ounce.
Football head, peanut head.
Football head.
I'm learning.
We're getting it down now.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have black and blue.
Don't give him all your secrets.
Crankbaits?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of them too.
Square bill?
Yeah.
1.5? 2.0? 2.5. You use an 8.0 to catch anything I'm bringing you. I'm going. Man, it'd have to be a 6-pounder just to bite that one. Have you seen an 8.0 square bill? That's a monster.
But if you want to catch a monster,
if you want to catch it, you're going to throw a swim bait?
It's a good way to do it.
I might.
I'm not throwing a swim bait too. I'm letting you know. I'm coming after you, Jake. I'm coming after you. What do you like about it, Jake? That's what I want to hear. What do you like about it?
I like being out there on the water more. I like making memories with my dad, having fun catching fish. We might win a little money.
Did your dad just raise your allowance? That's what it's all about. Now, what do you like about the tournament? When you come in to weigh in, what does it make you feel like when you walk up there on stage? Have you walked up there yet?
Yes, sir.
I knew you had. So what does it make you feel like?
It kind of feels like
KVD, don't you?
Yeah.
I see. I can get the truth right out of him, I tell you. Kevin Van Dam. Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you feel kind of fun and special, and everybody, there's usually a big crowd there. But you kind of get that camaraderie going too. You know, you got your buddies, and I'm sure you got some of your fishing or school buddies are going to fish in it. Y'all going to talk smack?
Yeah, we're going to see who can bring in the biggest bag.
We're going to bump fists and talk smack, ain't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to be right in there with them. 13, 58 going on 13.
Yeah, that's right. Who do we have on
Cody?
one?
Cody on one?
Cody, how are you tonight?
Cody?
Yes, sir.
How can we help you, brother?
Oh, not too much. I just want to do a little talking about fishing.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, I just wanted to ask y'all about your bait casters. How do y'all use one?
Well, they wrote a song about how I do.
It ain't always pretty.
No.
I'm talking about a bait caster.
Well, I love bait casters.
I do too, especially in certain
I have a
situations.
little bit of problems in mine.
What'd you have? A professional overlay?
Well, alright. Alright.
What'd you have on the problem with your bait caster?
Okay. For one of these plastic lizards with a 1 ounce weight, I could not get the thing to work for nothing.
Well, he's probably dragging around too big weights.
Yeah.
He couldn't get off the bottom.
It might not have been a 1 ounce, but I don't know. But,
Well,
man, I set this thing, I fine-tuned it. You know.
I tell you what, it'd be a great tip though to help him out here. What I do, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that does this, but whatever bait I'm going to use, if I'm using a bait caster, I'll click to release the bail, and how fast that line's coming off with that bait, because all baits don't weigh the same.
Right.
So I adjust it every time I change a bait. I adjust my bait caster to where I just want it. I don't want it to free fall just really fast, and when it hits the ground, it backlashes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If it hits the ground and it does not backlash, you've got it set perfect.
Well, I have to say, I sold my bait caster.
You gave up too fast.
Well, I mean, I got a good deal though. I traded my uncle, and I gave him $35 boot. I got a set of Haynes Parker design, 7-foot medium action, bell type.
Yeah, you did then. You did good.
Did all right on that deal.
You did good on now. My spinning rod guy is sitting right here beside me.
Yeah.
Brandon loves the spinner.
I do.
The spin cast, and I'm a bait cast guy. I'm an old winches.
I mean, it's
tailored
whatever you like, you know.
That's
right.
what it is.
If you can catch a fish with it, don't matter if it's a Zebco 33.
But I'm gonna tell you something. You watch the Major League Fishing and all those. The guys are wearing them out with the spin cast.
Yeah. Every now and then.
Yeah, that's. You like the fish tournaments? Did we see it? Do you like the fish tournaments?
I fished a couple. I ain't fished too many. I've got about 4 or 5 ponds I can go fishing at.
Well, we'd like to invite you to come visit us at the Carl Perkins Bass Classic. Do you know where Perryville is? Do you know where Perryville Marina is?
Well, I mean, I might not have the time right now. I do carpentry. I'm 15, you know, I do a little bit of carpentry work, so.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do too. But
I don't know if I'll have, you know, I don't know if I have the time.
I just put off something, you know, when it comes to that time, I just tell them the mud's not dry on the sheetrock and it's going to take a couple of days. And I move on and go fishing.
Yeah.
But we hope that helps you out.
Okay, well, I'm going to get off here now so that way somebody else can call.
Thank
Have
you.
a good rest of the evening.
Thank you
for
so
calling.
much. We appreciate it. Was that the right button to push?
I think so. We'll know here in a minute.
No. Somebody's still on there. Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Well, all right. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go.
Okay. We got it.
We got it now.
All right. Now we know. We're about to figure this out better. But the Carl Perkins, the reason I wanted to say this, he brought up a great deal about the spin cast. But if you notice, a lot of the tournaments getting won with finesse baits during the hot summertime. The temperature's up. Those little finesse baits seem to be coaxing those big gals into biting. Where the big old 3/4 ounce football head thing that just sways back and forth in the water, slapping them, isn't working during that
No,
time.
I like that finesse stuff. That's,
I do too.
we got another caller here on 2. Gerald, how are you doing
Gerald,
tonight?
Yes, this Gerald Bid.
how's it going,
Hey, how
brother?
are you?
All right, you and Brandon do okay?
Yes,
Doing
sir.
great.
Hey, they've got a solution to that feller's backlashing problem. It costs him about $250 a reel.
Yeah, I know. It's an anti-backlash reel.
Yeah, my son went and brought 2 of them, and you set them up for bait you're going to be using, they will not
They
backlash.
will not backlash.
And you can rear back with both hands. You don't have to thumb it. Hey, you throw it.
Just throw it on out there.
Yeah, it works now.
It does. It does.
You have to set it up for each weight that you want to be using in bait. But after you learn how to do it, it's real simple.
But Gerald, I think we're getting, you know, I'm not one of these that's real hip on using all the electronics to find the fish anymore. What happened to always, let's go out there and fish, you know?
Well, I do that. I've got what I call a calibrated thumb.
Yes, sir. I do too.
There you go.
I got one of those.
I back that thing off till it's loose, and there's nothing. I just don't want any slack in the spoon, and I fish at night.
Yeah, I love it all.
When that thing splashes, I stop.
The only thing that you'll find that I throw, that I've got the reel on free spool, is a frog with braided line. Because while everybody else is throwing 40 and 50 yards, I want that 70 and 75 yards. I want to go where no frog is gone before.
Yeah, I get out here and I stand on the bank, you know, and I just throw just hard as I can.
Yeah.
And I set up my reel where I can throw them.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, a buddy of mine's in the studio and he caught one weighed 47 pounds doing it just like that. He just let it rip, tater chip, and threw it on out there.
That's a good way. Hey,
That is fun.
y'all have a nice night.
Gerald, thank you,
Thank
brother.
you for calling. Have a good night.
Gerald Smith, a good guy right there. But just talking about, we don't care what it takes. Just come on out and go fishing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, like he said a while ago, it's just about coming out, going fishing, all sorts of things for the family to do while they're out there.
But you and I got to hang around those youngsters and talk smack now. I mean,
We
you know,
do. They're probably going to whoop us, but that's okay, you know.
You know, we're going to do that now.
Yeah.
We're
going to have a good time, I
do
guarantee
the
you.
duck lip thing and all that like
That's
they
right.
do. Y'all do the duck lip?
I don't think so.
No, okay. Well, I got to come on up to the times.
That's right.
We got a tip of the week.
We do. We got to go over and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being brought to you by Davidson Farmers Co-op. You can go see them right there on Dickerson Pike, right off of Bradley Parkway.
Yeah, and are you doing the tip?
Yeah, I've got one where actually, you know, over the last few weeks, this kind of goes back to the woods for a minute, but we've had our cameras set up on mineral sites, things like that, watering holes. Well, the deer, you know, they're starting to come out of velvet. That's starting to happen.
Yeah, it's already.
Well, people think, you know, well, where can I get set up right now to catch these deer on camera? Oak trees, persimmons, things like that are great. But you know, people a lot of times view it as too early, but it is a great time to set up a non-aggressive, just an early season scrape.
Yes, it is.
Set up a mock scrape right now and get a camera over it, and you'll start catching those bucks as they come out of velvet, checking those scrapes and starting to mark their areas.
People do not understand, Brandon, from the time a buck starts when that nub breaks the skin, he is ready to breathe.
He's ready to go. He is.
And the whole time he's growing antlers, it's not when the velvet falls off that he's ready, his testosterone level's so high. He's ready to go when it breaks the skin.
He is.
And people just don't realize that.
No, they don't. That's why they get a lot of those odd early season pictures,
That's right.
but that's what it's all about.
Well, thank Brandon for giving us that tip, and that's a good tip. I like making mock scrapes.
It is. I enjoy it. It's a
part
great
of
way
the
to
fun of
get
hunting.
deer on camera, too. It really
Oh,
is.
it is.
A lot of fun. Guys, we've got to take a quick break. We're going to be back here in just a minute with a recipe for you from Miss Shannon Brown.
She is in the house.
She is in the house, and it
Killing
smells
us.
good over here. We'll see you in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.